Mark was a multi-sport athlete who had success in both football and track. He was a 3-year letterman and a 2-year starter in football. Mark was named to the Shrine Bowl team and the All-State second team. He earned a scholarship to play for the University of South Dakota. And Mark is presented by John Bellamy.
My name is John Bellamy. It's my pleasure to introduce the next inductee to the CHS Athletic Hall of Fame, and that's my older brother, Mark Bellamy. Many of you know Mark from his glorious late 70s, early 80s hair. You probably also know him for his skill on the football field, both offense and defense. Very fast, good catcher. You may also know him as the runner you see here. He was all-conference and all-state in his senior year, as well as taking third at the state event in the 100-meter dash, I think it was. Little known fact, every photo we ever had of him running was blurry. That's because he was so fast. You may also know Mark from his time as a college athlete, both in football, where he played for the University of South Dakota Coyotes, but also in track, where he ran for the Coyotes. You may also know him for his time as a coach, taking the Watertown Arrows girls gymnastics to their first ever state title, also a successful football and track coach. Now, me personally, I was not much of a runner, not very fast on land, and couldn't catch a ball if I had to, but I looked pretty darn good in a Speedo. So, it is my pleasure to introduce Mark Bellamy as the next inductee.
That's my fault that I found that picture.
Woo! Well, thanks, brother. That was startling seeing you in that Speedo. Anybody needs their eyes bleached, just ask the servers, they'll come around. Congrats to all the inductees tonight. What a resume of athletes. I'm absolutely humbled to be here with this group of people and for all those that were inducted many years before me. Thank you to the nominating committee for this, and Mr. Callan, Coach Callan. When you gave me the call that night, it couldn't have come from a person who was more influential in my life than you, and got me to believe in myself as a youngster. And that meant so much when you gave me the call a year ago and said I was going to be here on this evening. I want to thank a lot of people tonight. Governor Pillen, no offense, but my lovely wife, Rosemary, and my daughter, Josie are here. My wife is the head volleyball coach at Watertown, South Dakota, and we were playing Brookings tonight. And during your speech, Governor, she was watching her team, which she left tonight to the assistant coaches, and my other daughter, Anna, was playing. And we did have YouTube TV on, Mr. Governor, and we were watching Aero volleyball at times tonight. And I will say they won 3-0, so congratulations to the Arrows. Anyway, I want to thank my mother and father, Fred and Renee Bellamy, for what they did in my life. And it was something that happened, obviously, a long time ago when they started me in kindergarten at age 6 instead of age 5. And that made such an incredible difference in life. And I look back to what would have happened in my life if I would have went into kindergarten at age 5, and both Fred and Renee, now they tell me, they said, well, you really weren't ready. You liked making funny noises and things like that, and we didn't think school was quite, and I look back at it now going, wow, what a difference it made. The friends I had, the teammates I had, the success I ended up having in sports, all came down to that. My brother and sister, obviously, thank you for my brother for that. And my sister, I remember one time when I was playing at the University of South Dakota, we were out playing at Laramie, Wyoming. And here she comes with my brother-in-law and a 1-year-old driving all the way from western Montana down to eastern Wyoming to watch me play football as a sophomore. And I'm like, wow, that is some serious support right there. Mom and Dad never interfered with anything. And we would only talk about sports in the Bellum household if I wanted to talk about sports. I could come home from a varsity football game and it would be, well, you know, tomorrow we're gonna tear those bushes out in the front, and then we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. And I'm like, well, Dad, what about the game? Oh yeah, the game, yeah, you guys did well tonight. That was fun. You guys were great. That was awesome. But that was the kind of parenting that I think all kids need. I was never hounded or anything by my parents. They let me play the sports. They didn't live vicarious through me or anything like that. And I thank them for that. My coaches were so phenomenal. I'm gonna run through a few of these names quick here. I hope I don't forget anybody. Coach Libby, Coach Young, Page, Hobbs, Sheritz, Iwanski, for their commitment. I ended up serving many years in South Dakota as a varsity head coach. I had no idea until I signed that contract and started meeting with kids what being a varsity head coach was all about. And to look back at what our coaches did back in the early 80s, the time they put in, the commitment, time away from their families, all of that kind of stuff that you only realize once you've been into this business. But my biggest thank you tonight is going to go to my teammates. A couple of my best friends here tonight, Tom Alt, Jeff Beecher. Tom Alt already a member tonight, or a member of the Hall of Fame. I just want to thank all my teammates, because all we ever wanted to do in Columbus, once we got to know each other in midget football, we just wanted to be good at football. And back in the late 70s, early 80s, Columbus football, we weren't very good. I mean, my brother-in-law graduated, I believe, in 77, and that was the last winning team. If I remember right, coaches, go ahead and correct me, but until we got to be seniors in high school, I think that was the last winning team at Columbus High School. And all we wanted to do was be good. We played football together. Carrie was talking about the Bears and the Rams and everything, and that was where it all started. And then we got into junior high football, and I met all these guys from the schools. We came together, and then Emmanuel Lutheran kids came, Beecher, Bullington, all these names. They came over, and all we wanted to do was just be good at football. And so we fought through it, and we played hard. We did what we could do. We won at every level. We were never dominant, but we always had winning records. And I just look at these guys going, God, we gotta be good. We gotta be good. And we got to be seniors, and we were really small. We were a bunch of little guys that could run really super fast. And Libby and Young and all of our great coaches went, well, we're not gonna run a 5-2, and we're not gonna run an I formation with these midgets. Let's see what we can do. And so they flipped us into this veer. They flipped us into a split six kind of defense. We had great sophomores, great juniors. Kwapnowski was part of that group. I'm sure I'm missing a couple others that played that were here also. But it all just came together that fall of '81 for us. And what a great time. And I will say a couple things. I was glad to see Carrie talk, so I'm not going to be the longest speech tonight. Anyway, we went into that year, and we opened up our first game and all this, and we had these we were shifty and fast. Tom Alt was the master quarterback in the veer offense, option, all this. We could explode. We were dangerous, but our defense was absolutely smothering. It was one of those things that never probably got spoken of. I look at now as a former coach going, my God, that must have sucked trying to prepare for us on defense. What are we going to do? Can we run inside? No. Can we pass? No. Can we run outside? No. What are we going to do? Well, you're not going to score. That's what you're not going to do. So we played 10 games that season, including the 2 playoff games. We gave up 8 touchdowns the entire season and 1 field goal. 6 of those touchdowns occurred in 3 games, and 2 of those games we won. We shut out 4 teams that season. Lincoln public schools did not score a touchdown or a point on us the entire year. We shut out Lincoln High 26-0. We shut out Lincoln East 13-0 in the first round of the playoffs. Not a point. We go into Lincoln High, and of course we're very untested. We're not a good program. Nobody respects Columbus. This whole thing, and Sioux Falls. Lincoln High School comes to town, and we just beat the living crap out of those guys. Between Norm Sabota and Rick Pedraza, I think they sent half their team to the emergency room that night. No kidding. I mean, Bob, you remember what it was like. The first play of the game, their touted running back comes running up the middle, and Norm Sabota hits him so hard, I think people in the stands were cringing when that happened. Quarterback, broken jaw, concussion, out. Just beat the living crap out of these guys. Never seen a group of beat down people when we were shaking hands with them after the game. What a wonderful season that was. So thank you to my teammates who wanted to do nothing more than I did than just win football games every week, all of that. Track, wonderful sport, loved it, don't get me wrong. I know I spent most of my time talking about football, but with Coach Callan and Coach Young in track and field, we had an absolute blast. Went to state a couple years, got a medal, had an awesome time in track and field with all of the coaches and my teammates as well. Closing tonight, this is a magnificent evening. I can't tell you once again how honored I am and how humbled I am to be here. My family being here with me is so important. And one thing, go Columbus, always a discoverer, all the time. Thank you.